Okay.
how the whole day went.
All right. So we started the expo with the press conference that we had on Monday. We had it at
Okay.
Mercy Hall in Magodo. And we had pressmen come around on the 8th of June to just at least let the public know about what we're about to do. For this, the Event Rental Expo 3.0, we're having it's going to span through about 5 events. So we had, first of all, we started with the press conferences on Monday the 8th, exactly a week ago actually. And then we also did have the CSR, which we had with the Lagos Food Bank. And then there we gave out food to communities that were that had vulnerable people. So for old women and all that, we gave them foodstuffs and all that. It was a great experience packing the food and all that. We all had, a very, great moments, giving back to our society. So we're not only about rentals and, doing business, we're also about giving back. And it's actually very big for us. Last year we gave to Last Mile, we gave them raincoats and all that. The year before we also gave to our staff, and then all that. So again, we are very big about giving back at the Rental Professional Society of Nigeria. So taxing it to the 11th of June when we had our double event. We had the conference in the morning. In the evening, we had our Ojude RPSN. That's what we called it. And that was our grand ethnic dinner. Again, that was meant to foster unity, amongst where people come from. Port Harcourt, Akure, Abuja, members from all over Nigeria came together, as one. And then we also had, it was a very, very beautiful event. And let me start from the conference, for instance. Like for the conference, that was a very good one. It was very. We're trying to make sure that we make our members understand how they need to build businesses that would last. So they can start thinking about legacy and luxury and longevity at the beginning of at this point, so that again it puts them on the point where they are not thinking just let me eat and feed my family. They are thinking, a bit more global in their outreach and also about sustainability. That's what we're able to achieve with that. So we brought speakers that could talk to those points. And we talked about the another very something that was very big about that conference was talking about how we tell our own story. So that's why I'm actually here again today. Because if we don't tell the stories about what we do, nobody's going to say it for us. So for our industry, for the event rental industry, for instance, most of us employ maybe 15, maybe 20. We might even have contract staff. When we have a job, somebody says, "Oh, come and do the Oba chairs," in Ijebu and all that. We carry guys, we pay guys every weekend. They might not be full time staff, some might be full time staff, but again, we are helping those families have food on their table. We have the events that we have help caterers and other people that cook. So again, it's a very big ecosystem that they seem to ignore us, but we can't really ignore us. And we want to make sure that they are seeing us and you understand what we stand for. That we're not just a group of women and a few men just running about and all that, carrying chairs about. No, we are helping the economy. And then we want people to understand that. But again, for our members, we want them to understand again that this thing we're doing is bigger than what everybody thinks. And that's why we decided that we're going to have an event talking about what those things mean and how every company that's under our association needs to be thinking in that direction. So, who is going to succeed you? Who are you training? Are you bringing, in fact, thinking about it during this conference that we had, we made sure that our members got discounted prices to bring their staff in. So if you know your child is happy to do what you're doing, bring them in. You get a discount. If your staff, you have put in your company that you're already grooming to take over and all that, or at least understand how the business runs, aside you, bring them in. So that's what we're able to do with that conference. And again, it was a very good one. We had, this board come with her son as well. She's giving him the needs to thrive, and then that also gives us that thought process for us to understand that you can actually begin to hand over, or at least share responsibilities in your company and see how other people can help you build your company in a way that it will outlive you. Again, that's kind of what we try to preach, and then that's what we achieved from that conference in the morning.
Then leaving. And I wonder why you call it Ojude.
Yes, thank you for that. So, as I said earlier, so for the theme for the event, usually when we have events, what pipeline event normally has like a theme. So, like what we're expecting everybody to achieve with that event. So for us, it was us thinking about what we can do to help foster unity, and that's what we wanted to do. So like whatever is happening in Nigeria, whatever is happening around the world, whatever, we want to keep showing that unity is important, even if we are diverse. So that's what we try to bring out. So if you see our audio, you see that we had people that wore Yoruba outfits. We also had BBO people, all right, and then so it was not only about the Yoruba culture. No, it was about everybody. We had Igbo dressing and all that. Also, everybody will come together to just showcase, the fact that we are united. So what we did with that is that we made sure that we put people in groups, randomly assigning to groups, our members. Then whoever their group leader will be, will now choose what they're going to wear and all that, and then they just give them that free hand. But it was beautiful. In fact, we didn't think, well, we're like, hey, taking it another level. We thought about it in a small way, not as big as that. But our members, we shoot it off the roof. But again, even till now, it's still trending. We're seeing a lot of people still sharing their experience and all that. Simply means that the event actually was a success. We wanted to use that to get people to know themselves more. So it was also helping us to have good team bonding. So if you're a rental company in Akure, for instance, you are going to be bonding with a member in Lagos or in Kotun, for instance. And again, that just helps you to know yourself more. So you get in a group for a couple of months to plan this, your house and another how you want to appear for the Ojude RPSN. And I mean, we had very colorful outfits. We had everybody just come out and they were all happy. The happiness was very contagious. I mean, it was there, you can tell. People that were there can tell how positive that the vibe was in that room, and we really achieved what we wanted to achieve with the Ojude Oba, where Ojude RPSN. We are so happy, that God gave us those directions and how we went concerning that event, and it was a success.
RPSN is like how many years old?
So we started in 2020, was when the founder, Mrs. Kemi Adeleke of KFA
Mm.
Rental, started the association, and from then up until now, we've grown to 140 members from across Nigeria. We're looking to go and expand more. We want to make sure that we're able to keep standards that people say that you just pick up and just want to go and start a rental company randomly and you don't know how these things run. You're going to just give us a bad name if you don't do it the way that you're meant to do it. So that's why I want to make sure we have standards in place for anybody that wants to, do rentals very well. We advise that they join at RPSN. That way they learn how to get things done. They get challenged on how things are meant to be done. They'll get mentors and all, and then they would put their business to the next level properly.
Okay. The events business has grown so big in Nigeria. How does that make you feel being part of an
Yes.
emerging ecosystem that is massive?
Yeah, thank you for that question, sir. So, for me personally, I'm a second generation event business person. My mom started events about over 20 years ago. Then I was still in university, and she used to do the wedding of all my friends when I was in school. Then everybody, all my close friends, their event got decorated by my mom. But I never saw it as a business that I could. I mean, I just wanted to work in oil and gas and all that. I went to school abroad, came back, and but eventually after a couple of years, it started staring me back in the face. Like she was getting older and the business was there and it was creative, but I didn't want to do it. So I think for me, I've seen the event business come from just drums and random stuff to what it is now. In fact, within the last 6 years I've taken over running the business with my mom. I've been able to see a couple of things that kind of like shows the fact that this event business, needs a bit more. We need to take it a bit more seriously. It's part of why I decided to serve this ESCO, because there's a lot of potential in it, but a lot of people just assume that you just pack chair and pack. You don't understand that there's a lot of behind the scene that go into all these things. So I'm actually very happy to belong to this industry. Again, I call myself a celebration expert because I am also into planning, decor, and again, this all my own back two decades of history in the event business, and I've seen it grow, and I've seen where it is now, and I know that it can go bigger. And that's the reason why I've decided to put myself into this, so that everybody else be able to enjoy what it is that is in this industry, and then I understand how much they can they can get the entire. I mean, we're just putting us under as event industry by itself. Because when you try to fill forms now, you see hospitality industry. They don't think that we are an industry by ourselves as an event industry. I think that as we keep pushing this narrative that we want to push out there, the government and everybody else will start seeing us as a serious business and put us under an industry that we are the event industry that we see ourselves like other associations as well. So I think with time that would also happen, and I'm also very happy to be a part of this industry as it's growing. In fact, I was telling my kids the other day that they like event as well. So again, I'm also beginning to groom them down so that they can also start seeing that this is actually something that you can actually decide to do. You don't have to only be a doctor or be a lawyer or all this kind of stuff. You can decide that you want to be, an experienced curator using events as your stepping stone. So yeah, that's where I see it. That's how I see it.
How do you juggle all the businesses you run? Because I can see from your profile here that you're into so many things, flash shop and all of that. I know they're all part of
Yes,
the events thing, but how do you
put it together.
put it together?
Okay, yeah, so it's a good question. Again, it took me some time to also sit down and think about how I wanted to push it. And then I decided that, you know what, everything I'm doing is around celebration. So it kind of fits in beautifully because I've had jobs where they need me to plan the events. I plan it. I have the items because I do luxury rentals. My business name is Luxury Rental by Berry for my rental arm, and I'm able to put that in place because I saw that the ecosystem of where I was working had a couple of things I needed to have control over to give the best delivery. So, for instance, at Manifold Decor Shop, that's the business that I run with my mom. I've moved it into a mainly sales business where we import items for decor, and then people buy from Manifold Decor Shop, right? Then we now buy from there, and then we rent at Luxury Rental by Berry. If you spoil the item, we can restock from that same value chain. Again, because flowers are a big deal, a lot of people rent very dirty, ugly flowers. We can't. So we decide our market niche. We put I want to rent very clean, neat flowers. So we started rental flower shop by Berry, where we rent out neat flowers and also live flowers as well. And then the other things that we do are decor, which we already have the elements in our rental store. So we're able to, interpret a brief and deliver it under rentals, under decor, and then we're also able to plan the event because we understand the entire process. And that's why I say I'm a celebration expert. It's part of what I do. So it just comes to me naturally because I've grown up to me. I'm like the Yalamala, Omo Yalamala kind of girl. So my mother has been selling the Amala. I've grown up in the Amala. It wasn't a business for me before. It was just what I do because I grew up around it. But now it's just effortless for me. I just do it without even knowing. It's not a big deal at all to me. It's just all part of our ecosystem. Yeah.
Okay, Mo, let me take you back to. I went and did some research about RPSN.
Yes.
I saw the first one you guys did in 2020, which is 1.0.
Okay.
So this particular one was exceptional. I was there and I knew the whole thing. So are you guys planning on taking it step by step on growing the thing?
Okay. So I mean, I think that maybe I should also mention it in this interview. RPSN, under the leadership of our president, Taiwo Derilo of Jason David's Rental, has been, I mean, she's been very daring, in her leadership to push us to do the most amazing of things. And even this year, under RPSL, in collaboration with Lagos Chamber of Commerce, we got 45 of our members to go to China to source for items to make their businesses better. Never in the entire event industry, this never been done before. Never ever. All right. That's a team was led by Patricia of Perfect Event and myself, the lead planners for that event. And we also had cat event as well. We're part of the planning committee and also locations event. We're part of the committee that took people to China. Also, we also had somebody called MacB. MacB, she got 3 awards that night, if you remember. She's our mom. She's our She motivates us, she encourages us, she said you can do it. She's everything to us, she's our mentor, and she encourages us to push on with our big dreams. So again, that kind of comes to this one as well. The event that we had last week, if you thought about it before, we'll be like, oh, can we achieve it? But I think that if you have a leader that keeps pushing you guys to do big things, you will keep doing big things. So again, this is not how we had it last year or last 2 years. I feel that every year we're taking it a step, higher. Our tenure is 2 years. We're finishing our tenure next year. I think we have one more rental expo to do before we hand over. But again, we can't go lower. All right. So if we've gone this far, we're going to be pushing higher, a notch higher every single time. So that's the beauty. We used to be about 80 something or so last year. We are now 140 members. So imagine from what we've been able to achieve now, people are going to want to join us. And then we are hoping that when they come with their own flavor as well, we can push to the next level. Yes, next year will not be the same at all. Something I forgot to also mention is that we usually have our exhibitions every 2 years. So this year we're having an exhibition. We're meant to have it this last week, but we found out that the workload was a lot on us to achieve all those back-to-back events in a week. So we decided to push it to September 21st and 22nd of September, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, that's our new date for the exhibition. The exhibition is meant, so we decided that because a lot of us went to China, we are going to be, our things will come in maybe later in July or thereabouts. So that way we give our members the opportunity to showcase what brides, grooms, celebrants, and all that can use for their events for the Ember period. So we decided that let's move this exhibition to towards the end of the year, September. Then we're going to sell an exhibition for people that want to join us, and also people that manufacture things in Nigeria if they want. People that last 2 years when we had it, people came from outside Nigeria to exhibit. Chinese companies came in to exhibit, what they sell, to our members. So we're also looking at this by that time to also be having something as nice as that as what we had the last 2 years. So we have exhibition now every 2 years, but the conference is every year. So we're looking forward to that in September, our exhibition for everybody in Nigeria that manufactures something. We had Eleganza coming. Everybody that manufactures things that are related to events, they all got exhibition booths in the last one we had. That was actually our first edition of that exhibition. We'll have another one in September, God willing.
The next one is what the people that came. I was there. I had Abuja, Lagos, Akure, Ondo. Is it mostly? I had Port Harcourt as well.
Yes.
Is it mostly people that side, because it's difficult for people outside the southwest and south region to hear it? That's the first question. And the second is, are you guys planning on expanding it beyond the country, like continents or pure world? So
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good question. And then again, as I told you before, my president has a lot of big plans, and then we have something in the pipeline that once there's flesh around it, she'll unveil. But I think that we will need to get a good grasp of in Nigeria for the rental business. It's a subset of the event business itself. But again, like what we learned in our exhibition, that we're not just in our conference, that we're not just trying to supply chairs. We're selling peace of mind to celebrants. So what we're trying to do is for us to make sure that we push around Nigeria first. All right. So we do have people from Abuja, that's the north. We have Port Harcourt. We have a lot of people from Ondo, Akure, all that. We have Abeokuta too and all. But we're looking to see how we can spread around Nigeria, because again, we want to be sure that there's standards for the rental business, so that people don't just keep renting or just doing anything they like because they feel that nobody regulating them, or there's no rule around how to do these things. That's what we're trying to establish, that you cannot give out dirty items and feel that you're doing a rental business. You cannot be delivering things late. You need to have integrity. You cannot take money from people and not deliver to their venue or make the bride. Things that people think that they just cannot do anything they like. The same way bank will not just take your money and not give you again and say that the money is in my account, I can use it for anything I like, because they have regulators. That's how we want to be. We want to be the arm, and that's what we're going to be. That we can set the standard for the entire industry. They'll be like, oh, how do you rent items? I want to bring anything from China or make things I want to rent. What's the standard for doing it? They will fall back to us. So what we are able to push that around every state in Nigeria. Again, we're not where we used to be last year. We have actually grown. We didn't have all those members from all over Nigeria before, but now we do. Because started from people that were in Lagos before, now we now have everywhere. So we're actually spreading. So we're looking at the next couple of years to come as well. As people keep hearing about and we keep doing this kind of thing that we're doing, talking about what we do and why we want people to join us, all that. Hope people will see the importance of joining us and be a part of us. And because we are the main umbrella body for rental in Nigeria as I speak. So we want to see how we can keep pushing that, to different states and all that. So once we're done with that, then we can begin to think that we want to have other branches outside Nigeria. But for now, we are actually the Rental Professional Society of Nigeria.
Are you guys planning on putting the event like the conference in another state beyond Lagos?
Thank you. That's a very good question. So I think that for every association, as you grow and where you find your strength in, you begin to develop around that area. So, for instance, if we now see that we have a strength of maybe 40 people in Abuja, for instance, we can say that we want to move to Abuja. But for now, if we still have pocket style all over the place and we mainly have our 60% of our members in Lagos, Lagos will still be the ones that will host the conference. We can maybe host like smaller events elsewhere, if we think that people are many enough. But for now, as I speak, Lagos is where we are holding for now. But with time, who knows? We might probably hold one, in China, maybe in America, anywhere else in the world is possible. But for now, we are hosting in Lagos.
Finally, just how do one join RPSN? Just because.
Thank you very much for that question. Okay, so to join RPSN, we have a website.
Okay.
You will go to www.rpsn.ng. Then you'll see the part where you would feel to join us. There are procedures that we need to be able to check. We also do a lot of background check before you can join us. You can't just join us because you want to run a rental company. There are the things that we also look at before we allow you to join. We also do physical inspection of your warehouse, things like that, to make sure that you're actually a real company. A lot of people do what they call baranda in Yoruba palette. So again, we don't allow that. You must actually own your inventory. You must own it. You must understand what the investment is about. And also, we have our criteria for people to join board. But then you go to our website and we'll be able to follow up with you from there. When we have your details, we'll do our background checks and see if you're eligible to join. And then you have the integrity and everything that we think that you need to have and will guarantee you to join us before we're able to bring you on board. So again, we don't just have everybody join us. We want to make sure we have quality people that we can defend join our association.
Okay, so talking about RPSN now, I know it's events related. Can you break it down, those who are like members, in terms of areas that they
Specializing.
specialize in?
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so a very wide range of rentals, because again, if you understand how events run, a lot of things go into it. So for people that rent out screens, like the screen that you saw at the event was rented out by one of our members. So from people that rent out screens, people that rent out charger plates, canopies, marquees, air conditioning sets, flowers, candelabras,
Tables and chairs.
tables and chairs. Those are the most common ones. Tables and chairs, VIP chairs, cutlery. Those are charger plates. Anything about food, shaving dishes, all that. Everything that has to do with rental. So again, what we see is that because of the trends that happen in the event industry, not everybody want to put in their investment in it. People that want to invest in it and put in all that kind of money for it. So that people that want to now rent can come to us and rent from us. They can have different flavors for their event every time, but we will be the one that keep looking for the latest trends, changing stuff and all. So we are the ones that stock all those things. So from generator rental companies, we have them in our association, to marquees, to cutlery, chairs, fans, trusts.
How about decoration?
Decoration props.
Okay.
Props. We don't rent DJs though. DJs don't. So again, in a situation currently, we don't have DJs there at the moment that rent out there. I think they just normally just carry their stuff. Some people rent out sound systems, but we don't have any of them at the moment. But we do have people that rent out lights, then also what's it called? Also screens and things like that. But again, anything that has to do with event toilets, anything that has to do with rentals for events, we welcome them to join our association. So that again, we're all under one umbrella body, and then we can also see how we can be of service to people that want to do events all over Nigeria.
Thank you very much.